People who may have been injured at a very early age and who have benefited from a structured settlement. And
in these tough economic times, the fact that the people that you work with who have been the most seriously injured,
people who had tragedies, people who were in trouble, people who could not think as clearly about the future because the pain that they were going through.
Trials and appeals can be long and emotionally draining. I know the difficulties and delays are especially hard when your client or the person involved is seeking justice.
People who may have been injured at a very early age and who have benefited from a structured settlement, and how important that was to fulfilling all of their needs as they grew and you know their lives progressed. I think that's very, very important.
When people get sick and they need health insurance and they don't have it, they ask whether you have insurance, not whether you're Republican or Democrat. When you're trying to get your kid in school, they may be asking for a whole lot, but tuition is one of them. And they don't ask your party affiliation. When we have the market crisis, when banks are not lending, when stores are closing, you ask me where the party label is going to make a darn bit of difference. Structured settlements are just common sense. People who had tragedies, people who were in trouble, people who could not think as clearly about the future because the pain that they were going through just then. People who needed guidance, people who need to maintain their dignities but to be able to plan for their future. And for far too many victims of torts and victims of crimes and a variety of other reasons, they were not always in the best area to effectively compete without knowing that there would be a stream of monies that would be able not only to get them through this difficult time that they would be going through, because they are victims of something that caused them to be able to get this type of award, but at the same time to be able to plan for their children and their grandchildren with some degree of that dignity that all of us have.
I know that trials and appeals can be long and emotionally draining. I know the difficulties and delays are especially hard when your client or the person involved is seeking justice and is laboring under a serious or life-threatening injury. That's why I strongly support the tax code provisions that allow for and continue structured settlements. I believe that they are critical for fairness in our justice system. Structured settlements allow people who suffered serious injuries to focus on what's most important, putting your life back together. They're an innovative way to resolve disputes that provide tax-free financial security, dignity, and peace of mind for injury victims and wrongful death survivors.
And the family, who are friends of mine, and I've kept in touch with certainly even since I got elected to Congress, have said over and over again how pleased they were that we were able in this situation to really design something that is going to make sure Holly, her name, was going to really be able to, again, get through this terrible experience in a way that was going to make her life, maximize as much as she possibly can. Congratulations on the great work that you've done in terms of really creating something that works for the people who, again, are going through a lot in terms of their own personal lives, and to have that intelligent, smart way of making sure that they're going to be compensated there for them is really a good thing that doesn't cost the taxpayers really anything, and it works for all of us as Americans.
Obviously, the peace of mind that comes with a structured settlement is so important, and oftentimes we spend so much time in hearings talking about retirement security, income security, job security, and the kind of security that you're able to provide with structured settlements is so critical and important as people are trying to get their lives back together, oftentimes after a devastating injury, a job loss, and all of the things that occur.
I want to thank you, particularly in these tough economic times. The fact that the people that you work with who have been the most seriously injured can have an expectation of revenue flow, be able to have some income to take care of their needs, even in the most challenging economic times, is something I know you're very proud of, but so are we. So thank you for that. Imagine if they were relying on, well, any number of things happening, like their 401ks being there for them, or other kinds of dividends just wouldn't be there. So thank you for what you do.
The structured settlement industry has won the respect and earned the support of congressional leaders. There's a reason for that. because of what you do to help injured victims and their families live their lives with dignity and respect, and the economic security that comes from knowing a settlement is protected and will last a lifetime. Structured settlements have been used for many years to assist the victims in many serious accidents and disasters, and I know they're being used more effectively and more often in Medicaid and Medicare cases, delivering the highest quality care in a more cost-efficient manner.